Today we're going to talk about how college coaches evaluate high school pitchers. So first off, good pitching always beats good hitting. And so every college program is always looking to improve their pitching. It seems like they're always looking for pitchers. Pitching is easier to evaluate than hitting is. So it is a lot easier for coaches to be able to evaluate pitchers because it's more of a science. And we'll get into some of the specific things that they're looking for today from a statistics, mechanical standpoint, mentality, all that stuff. So here we go. So first off, from a statistical standpoint, statistics are something that coaches will look at because there's certain things that no matter the level that you're competing against at the high school level, because that can change depending on the league you're in and what school you're at. Walks, strikeouts, innings pitched, strikeouts per inning, these are the main statistics that if a coach is going to look at your stats, this is what they're going to focus on. ERA, a lot of this other stuff, it's so hard to know a lot of that because it's okay. Who's running game changer? Who's the field? Who's behind you on defense? But these specific statistics, by and large, aren't going to drastically change just depending on who's playing defense behind you or who's running game changer. It's not like was it a walk or was it a strikeout? It's obvious. So these are some of the things that they will look at. So here's a couple examples. We'll go through some examples now of some different very good seasons, average seasons, and then below average on the command side. So a very good season, if you're looking at it from a statistical standpoint, if you pitched 40 innings for your high school team, you had 60 strikeouts and 6 to 8 walks, I don't really care how good or bad the competition is. That's a really good season. That would have me intrigued because that to me tells me, man, he's striking out a lot compared to how many batters he's faced, how many innings he's pitched. So this tells me he's got good stuff. And then it also tells me that he has good command too. He's not walking very many hitters at all. So when I see this, I am very intrigued. This is a very, very good season. Now for someone who has average stuff, maybe they'll have 40 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts. So again, not as overwhelming stuff as the first example, but they have good command, only 8 to 10 walks for 40 innings. So that's very good. That's something that would still have my attention. And as I said before, it depends on if you're at one of the best high schools in the country and you're facing top level competition, it's going to be a little bit different. But by and large, this is how it is from a general sense. And then lastly, if you're someone who has below average command, it may look like this, where it's, hey, you have good stuff because you have 50 strikeouts and only 40 innings, but you have 30 walks. That's just way too many walks. Again, you have to think about this from a college coach's perspective. What are we trying to do? We're trying to prevent runs. By and large, if we think about it from first principles thinking, like from a pitching standpoint, we're trying to prevent runs. And what's the easiest way to do that? Don't give away free bases. Don't walk very many hitters. So this is something that coaches will look at from a statistical standpoint. Now I'm going to talk about just the strikeout to walk ratio from a command standpoint. Now I'm going to talk about the walk ratio from a command standpoint. So 1 walk every 2 innings, average, I would say average command. 3 walks per 9 innings will be very good. And then 1 to 2 walks per 9 innings is elite. If you're only walking 1 guy per 9 innings, I mean, that's phenomenal command. And I think this is the thing is right now everyone is so obsessed with the radar gun and how hard they throw. But if you watch college baseball, there's not a ton of players throwing 95 consistently and that are getting innings. You have to be able to command. And as I said before, it's about preventing runs. How do you prevent runs? First way, the easiest way is stop walking guys. Let's talk a little bit mechanics now. I know everyone loves the mechanics. Certain college pitching coaches look for maybe some specific things from the mechanical standpoint, but by and large, this is some of the things that they're asking themselves. So first off is the arm action. Is it a smooth motion or is it tight, jerky? It looks forced. maybe he throws 88 miles an hour, but it's like it feels like he's given everything he has, and it's not smooth and effortless. There's a difference right there. From a fastball movement, is it vertical break? Is it more horizontal? Is it sinker baller? Certain coaches may prefer certain movement types. If their home ballpark plays very big and the ball doesn't travel very well, maybe they prefer somebody who has more of that induced vertical break, where that ball seems like it's going to be rising because they're getting more of their outs as fly balls, versus someone who has horizontal run on their fastball, more of a sinker baller, because they're more likely to be getting more ground balls. So coaches may prefer certain movement types just depending on their home ballpark. I think this is the one thing that is going to separate a lot of pitchers is the breaking ball, that secondary pitch, because even if you throw hard, if you just have a fastball, college hitters are going to tattoo you, even if you throw 90 miles an hour. So you need to be able to have a breaking ball, but not just have a breaking ball, be able to command it. If you can't command it, even if it's decent, hitters will just be able to eliminate that. And so, what type of movement, what type of shape is it? Is it what I call a cement mixer, or is it an actual break? And here's what I mean. We all seen a cement mixer before. The ball just spins, just like a cement mixer. There's no movement at all. There's no shape to it. It just spins. So is your breaking ball like that? Or is there actually some shape to it? There's some little bit of depth to it. Even if there is, it's more of a sweeper. You need to be able to have some shape to your breaking ball. Otherwise, it's going to be easier for hitters to be able to hit it. Makeup. Can't quantify it, but arguably the most important thing that we talk about. Are you a competitor out there? When somebody behind you makes an error, what's your reaction? What's your body language like? When the catcher maybe misses a pitch and doesn't block the ball and it goes behind the backstop and a run scores, what's your reaction to that? The true competitors on the mound, they maintain their composure. They don't point fingers. They don't show up their teammates. They compete no matter what. You have no idea if they're doing good or bad because they have that poker face the entire time. That's a competitor right there. From a work ethic standpoint, do you have a warm-up routine? Do you have a regimen that you stick with? Preparation indicates dedication to coaches, because this is like, okay, this guy cares enough. He has a plan. He's sticking to the plan. As I said before, pitching's more of a science, so you need to be able to show that, hey, you have a routine. You've done your homework already on what works best for you, and so having that routine shows you have a good work ethic. Body type. Maybe if you're someone who is long and lean, but you don't throw very hard, but a coach can be like, okay, he has that fluid arm motion. He's 6'2", 170. He's only thrown 83, but I think we can develop this velocity, because coaches. This is why pitching is a little bit different than hitting. It's a lot easier to develop velocity than it is command. And so from a hitting standpoint, it's kind of similar too, where it's a lot easier to develop power than it is to develop bat-to-ball skills. So if you can throw strikes, you have a good body, and you project well, we got a chance. We got a chance, because it's going to be more likely that coaches feel like they can develop that velocity. So as I mentioned before, is it a smooth arm motion? So we'll go back into arm action a little bit and just give some more examples of what type of arm action. Is it smooth? Is it tight? Is it stiff? So you can see right here, this is just a slow motion video where, from a mechanical standpoint, it's like this is good mechanics right here. Good mechanics. It's good smooth arm motion. You don't have to put it in slow motion. I just wanted to put it in slow motion just to show you like what good mechanics would look like. And then we can see from a breaking ball standpoint, again, this is another good breaking ball, but it's also good mechanics right here. Good fluid motion. You can see that this particular player is going to be able to put on some velocity even as he grows older and gets into college. Lastly, we're going to talk about velocity. If you watch college baseball, you'll notice that the majority of pitchers aren't throwing what you would think that they'd be throwing based on what you see on social media. It seems if you go on social media, you have to throw 95 miles an hour in order to play college baseball, Division I college baseball. That's just not the case. So there's no magical offers for pitchers. And this is something that I think, as I mentioned earlier, your body type, your projection, your arm action, all these different things. Are you a thrower versus a pitcher? And then also left-handed pitcher versus right-handed pitcher. Left-handed pitchers aren't going to have to throw as hard right now as a right-handed pitcher in order to gauge interest from college coaches. So if we look at the average D1 pitching velocities, you can see the average velocity at Division I level last season was 89 miles an hour. 89. That was the average pitching velocity. So don't think that you have to throw 95 in order to play at the Division I level. You have to do the things that we've talked about earlier. Some of the things are out of your control, which is that your body type and things like that, but some of it's in your control too when it comes to, hey, throwing more strikes, being an actual pitcher, not a thrower, having a routine. All those things make a difference and help increase the chances of you becoming an actual pitcher versus just becoming a thrower. Throwers don't think about anything, pitchers do. So how can I possibly help you? How can I help you in the recruiting process? So if we haven't met yet, my name is Patrick Jones. I'm a college recruiting advisor. What I do is I do an evaluation. I figure out what's going to be the best fit for you based upon what college coaches like certain types of pitchers and their skill sets. We're going to talk about your recruiting timeline, what you need to improve upon, and then have a strategic plan on what you need to do, what camps you should or shouldn't be going to, and I'll also reach out to college coaches on your behalf because I have a very big network of college coaches. I have a podcast called Patrick Jones Baseball. I've had over 300 college coaches on my podcast, and it's something I've been able to develop relationships with coaches across the country from Division I level all the way down to the junior college level. So if that's something that you're interested in, what I would recommend doing is setting up a time to speak with me. And as you can see right here, I'll send out text messages to coaches just so we can get feedback on know exactly what we need to work on. And so, as I said, I can reach out to college coaches on your behalf, call or text with questions so you can get instant feedback, and then help you with a final decision. So if you're interested in meeting with me and just asking some questions and seeing if we have a good fit to work together, head to patrickjonesbaseball.com/recruiting, or you can click the link below in the description. Hope you enjoyed today's video on how college coaches evaluate high school pitchers, and looking forward to speaking with you.